Hi guys, so today let's talk about how to get your attestation letter. I know a lot of people are scared, confused about how to go about this attestation letter. By the way, the attestation letter was an addition that was added recently in January by the Immigration Minister, Mark Miller. So I'm going to be talking about the new changes in the immigration law for international students, and I'm going to be explaining to you how to go about getting your attestation letter. Now, in January 2024, the Immigration Minister, Mark Miller, announced that there will be a cut, in the international student program. He said this cut is going to be by 35%, which, accounts for about 364,000 people being allowed as international students every year into Canada. Now, he said that this policy was going to go into, full function by 22nd of January 2024. So right now, it has started, And what this means is that coming into Canada as an international student is going to become very competitive because we have less number of people who will be allowed to come into Canada as international students. Now, he also mentioned that the cap is going to be, in force for 2 years, and then it will be reassessed after 2 years. By the end of 2024, they will look into this, cap and see if they need to, bring it further down or increase it a bit more. Now, here is where the problem lies, Mark Miller also announced that this quota system or this cut, is going to be provincial, meaning that they're going to be giving each province in quota a cap per province. So the province would now decide on what schools to give their numbers to. Guys, are you seeing where the issue is? The fact that provinces might become biased, when it comes to institutions that they might be giving their numbers to. And what happens to you who is applying as an international student? You do not know what schools will be giving what number and what number is given to any school. So this is where the problem really lies. The second announcement that was made is that there will no longer be PGWP for private public institutions. What does this mean? PGWP means postgraduate work permit. Now, when you school in Canada as an international student for your master's or diploma or whatever it is, you are given a postgraduate work permit after school to, enable you stay here to work and then end up becoming a permanent resident. But right now, the government is saying that there will no longer be PGWP for public-private institutions. Now, these schools are considered as sketchy schools. They are colleges that are considered as sketchy. I'm going to explain what that means. These are private colleges that are being licensed to deliver curriculums of an associated public college. Now, government is saying that henceforth, there will be no PGWP for anyone who goes to such schools. You will no longer be eligible for a postgraduate work permit, period. Now, the third announcement that was made was that there will be a 3 years work permit for those who undergo master's and doctorate programs. Now, this is a very good news, because before now, it used to be if you have a length of study for 1 year, if your course of study is 1 year, then you have a 1 year work permit after school. And then if your course of study length is 2 years, then you will have a 2 or 3 years work permit after school. Now, what this means is that you have just 1 year to be able to apply for your permanent residence and become a permanent resident, which usually used to be very difficult for people who had a length of study of 1 year. But for people who had 2 years, they usually get 2 to 3 years, and this gives them ample time to prepare, apply for their permanent residence and be able to get their permanent residence without running out of status. But right now, the government is saying that even if you school for 1 year, even if you school for 2 years, you get a 3-year work permit, right, guys? This is awesome. This one is awesome. It's welcoming. Another interesting thing, in this one is that you can also bring your spouse on a spousal open work permit along with you. So this is interesting, guys, and this is really welcoming. Now, the fourth announcement that was made, which was the last announcement he made, is that there will no longer be spousal open work permits for students in colleges or bachelor's program. So this means that the spousal open work permit is only open for those who are studying master's or a doctorate program in Canada. So what this means is that if you have a spouse who is schooling in any college or having a bachelor's degree here in Canada, you cannot come to Canada on a spousal open work permit. So it means It means also that you should focus or give your attention to master courses like PhD, masters, if you're an adult, student. That is my advice for you, so that your spouse can come here on a spousal open work permit and your kids can also come here on a study permit. This is my advice for you. What this also tells me is that it's going to be more competitive, right, to get a study permit. Okay, the competition will be stiffer. So if you want to make sure that your study permit is accepted or approved by IRCC, you want to make sure that your study permit application is airtight, it is extra, so that when they get your study permit application, you check all checkables. You are checking all the marks, and then you are getting your approval straight up. So my advice is, focus on master's programs, and if you can do a PhD, then that will be better for you. And also focus on courses that can give you permanent residence, that can lead to permanent residence. That's my advice for you, because every day it gets stiffer here in Canada. It's getting tougher, and this now is based on provinces. So you want to be very careful. Now, one more thing he added in that, announcement was that henceforth, anyone who wants to come to Canada, okay, as a student or wants to apply for a study permit has to, submit alongside the application an attestation letter. Now, this attestation letter is a provincial attestation letter, and this is the bane of my topic today: attestation, how to get your attestation letter. So you will need to be submitting your attestation letter alongside other relevant documents for your study permits. Now, in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you who needs an attestation letter, otherwise called a PAL, who does not need an attestation letter, how to get an attestation letter, and the most important documents you need to submit alongside other documents whilst applying for a study permit. My name is Lilian Uja, and I share tips and strategies to help you immigrate to Canada and any other country yourself without spending so much money, trying to get people to help you do this. Okay, if you've not subscribed to my channel, I want you to subscribe to my channel, and then if you can assist me, click on the like button so that YouTube can push this video to much more people. Thank you very much. The following students need a provincial attestation letter: international undergraduate students whose study permit application were received by RRCC after January 22, 2024. Secondly, students enrolled in graduate certificates, graduate diplomas, and international professional programs. Thirdly, all visiting and exchange students studying for longer than 6 months. Fourthly, visiting students / researchers. So guys, these are the people who need to apply for a provincial attestation letter. Now let's talk about those who are not who are exempt from applying for a provincial attestation letter. Number one, master's or doctoral degree students, regardless of when study permit application was submitted. Now the second one is visiting or exchange students studying for under 6 months. They are exempted, okay, from the PAL. The third one is in Canada study permit and work permit holders. This includes study permit holders applying for an extension. Now, the fourth one is in Canada family members of study permit or work permit holders. Say your family members are in Canada, or you are already in Canada with your family and you want to apply for, study permits. You don't need a PAL. That's what that means. Now, the fifth one is primary and secondary students. Now, these are the people who are exempt from applying for a provincial attestation letter. Moving on to how to obtain a provincial attestation letter. Okay, now British Columbia is the first province that rolled out the process of giving out attestation letters. I know that a few other provinces, I think Nova Scotia has started giving out provincial letters, but I don't know about other provinces, because I know some people are still waiting. Manitoba is still waiting, it's still on the hold. Okay, so for you to get your attestation letter, first of all, you need to accept your admission. Okay, once you have accepted the offer of admission, you need to make a tuition deposit. After making a tuition deposit, the school will send you a letter of admission plus a provincial acceptance letter. Then you need to package all of the documents you need for your study permit alongside with your attestation letter and submit it to IRCC for processing. So they will review your file, your application, and if you are approved, your visa will be issued, and then you're on your way to Canada. This also will be the same process with all other provinces. So I hope that this video would, has thrown light on how you can go about getting your attestation letter. You don't have to be scared or worried. It's as simple as it sounds. You don't have to be scared. And I wish and I hope that God grants your heart desires and give you your dreams, make your dreams come true. Thank you for watching my video. I'll see you on the very next one.